Well, here we are again. Polly has broken down. Not sure why. I just pulled up to Just Trucks, which is full of campers. They say they won't work on it. Unfortunately, our renter had to have it towed here, then get a ride to a closer, larger town that she could rent a car and drive back to Chicago. So I drove up here to try to figure out what's going on. The only thing I know is that it won't start. She thought it might be a battery issue. However, I have had issues with this vehicle starting in the past. So let's see what we can figure out. It is cranking over, but it does sound like a weak battery. We do have the secondary battery here, which I told her to try. And she said she did, and nothing happened. So okay, so either both of those batteries are totally dead, or there's a starter issue. That's my thought. Let's pop the hood and see what we can figure out. We're showing 12.47 volts on the truck battery. I just hooked this starter pack up to it, and we'll see what happens with that. Okay, she briefly cranked. Let's get the car hooked up and try to jump it with the car. She's alive! Yes! So I think it's just a severely dead battery. And so I let her sit for a little bit, getting charged up by the MDX, and decided I was gonna pull this battery out. And I gave it one more shot, and it took a little bit, but she started, and she's running fine. So here's the funny thing. We're at Thurlby Auto Parts, and put it on the tester. Out of 800 cranking amps, it actually registers 810 and showing 100% charge. I know the coach battery is totally dead because none of the lights even turn on in the back. So that's dead, but that shouldn't have anything to do with the starter battery. So my next thought is the starter is going bad. So I have a couple of options. I'm gonna call around town, see if there's anyone who rebuilds starters here. Or if I can get it started again, drive it home to Chicago, take care of it there. But I've gotta leave my car here and somehow get back to get my car. All right, Polly Vandelay is now safely tucked into a campsite at Holiday Shores? I don't know. I've got it backed in, got it pretty level. I put the front end up a little bit so that I can have an easier time of getting under there and getting to that starter. And I'm walking, it's about 2.5 miles back to the Just Trucks where she was. So I'm gonna grab the car with the tools, head back over, pull that starter out. I found a place called AIS that says they can probably redo the starter in 24 to 48 hours. We'll see. I mean, I also might look and see if there are any starters available for these. Maybe possible. Yeah, I gotta think more about it. Maybe I should do my research before I pull that starter out. Because if I could get a starter, a new or remanufactured starter, just shipped to Chicago, whatever. We're gonna figure it out. Oh, and the power steering doesn't work. No power steering right now. I haven't even checked the fluid, but that's really upsetting since it's only been on the road for 4 days and power steering's not working. Brand new pump, brand new rack, all new lines. Really pisses me off. Probably wasn't too smart of me to leave the whole back end open with all my tools sitting there. Thankfully, I think I'm in a pretty safe place. Yep, everything's still there. It's out. It's out. Well, welcome to day 2 of the second rescue of Polly Vandelay. So yesterday I was able to get the starter out. It's a pain. I don't know how I'm going to get it in, but I went to the local O'Reilly and they actually have one that should arrive to the local O'Reilly at around 7:30 a.m. tomorrow. So I've held up at this campground and I noticed that there was no power steering. If you've been watching our videos, you know that we just replaced the power steering, the rack, the power steering pump. I had the lines redone, and look what I found this morning. So my job now is to get this line off. I've already called a local hydraulic repair place. They think they can probably fix it, but they need to see it. So let me get this line off, take it over to them, see if we can get this back on. Well, if you're going to be broken down in a 1980s Renault in the United States of America, I highly recommend you break down in Grand Traverse, Northern Michigan, because everybody around here was really helpful, and I think I have everything I need to get the power steering fixed. So this line runs from this hose, and it's basically just an elbow to go into the bottom of the power steering pump. And as you can see, it cracked. Don't know how that happened, but it cracked. This is the pressure sensor that goes on, and as you can see, those wires are gone. But the guys at GT Rubber, Grand Traverse Rubber, were able to manufacture this for me, which I believe should go in place of this. Then the local O'Reilly was able to find another pressure sensor. This pressure switch tells the engine to turn off the air conditioner when the engine is starting, as well as heavy loads, like if you're turning slowly in a parking lot or something like that, if you're trying to turn the wheel. So that turns the air conditioner compressor off so the engine has more power to run the pump for the power steering. If this wasn't sending the right signal, that air conditioner compressor may have been engaging all the time. When I was trying to start it yesterday, I had turned that air conditioning switch off anyway, and it didn't really make a difference. So maybe it didn't really matter, but it could have. to O'Reilly. They just never placed the order for the starter. And I've been here for 2 days with basically no clothes. I went to the thrift store yesterday and I bought a t-shirt. And figured, okay, I'm screwed. But found a guy who apparently can rebuild it. And we'll do it today. So I dropped it off with him. He tested it, said that, you know, it was working, but it definitely didn't seem to have the amount of power that it should have. So he's taking a look at it to see what he can do. In the meantime, I'm waiting, and I'm gonna fix these little guys. So you can see these awning windows supposed to have 2 connections on either side of the window to open up, and some of them are missing. So went to the hardware store and got some things that I think will work, and we're gonna try it out. Oh, the other thing is I found this awesome RV surplus store that has new and used stuff. Look at this. I mean, this place is amazing. It's pretty inexpensive too, especially if you're looking for a specific object and you can't find it anywhere else. Okay, so what I've done is I got these rubber washers and then a neoprene, smaller neoprene washer right there. Found these aluminum screw doodads, and I think it's gonna work. It's fairly tight. You can see this rubber washer starting to come out. I don't love that, but it doesn't look perfect, but for now, maybe it'll be a good solution. Well, thanks to these wonderful gentlemen here at Elmer's, I have a starter that works. We bench tested it, everything looks good. Let's get it back in this van. Amazing, totally amazing. Okay, she's put back together. Everything is in place with one exception, this bolt. So, I don't know if you can see, but it's like flattened itself, stripped itself out. And I can't get it back in. It is a bolt for the bracket on the back of the starter motor to mount it to the chassis. The bracket is there. It's against where the bolt is supposed to go through, but I don't have a bolt for it right now. Don't think it's that big of a deal. I think I can at least try to start it. I don't think it's going to rip the starter motor off. Certainly hope not. Jeez. Oh God. I do have to get that bolt fixed, replaced. But right now I'm gonna try and see if it starts. Beautiful. Started right up and has never cranked that fast before. Wow. Give it one more shot. She starts, she runs. Okay, walking back to the LeSharo after putting my car in the secure storage lot that Holiday Park Campground has. They're not even charging me. Super nice. Really, really like this campground. Highly, highly recommend Holiday Park Campground. So I've got the car in storage, and now I'm headed back to the LeSharo, and I'm gonna get on the road, hopefully make it home tonight. I'm about 18 miles in. Air conditioner stopped working, which is odd. And I just pulled over to check everything and got this nice puddle of ATF on the ground from the power steering. I guess I just didn't get these couplings tight enough, so we're gonna tighten them up again. Well, I may have stopped the leak, or at least significantly delayed it. Sorry, it's loud, but it's not dripping anymore. I've got fluid in my hair, all over my body. I gotta go wash up. Well, I'm gonna call this a happy ending because here I am parked in our parking space in Chicago. Made it home, it's about 10:30 at night, so not too bad. Still have to figure out getting the car. That I'll work on in the next couple of days, no rush. But we got Polly home and she's gonna get ready for a trip starting tomorrow. Thanks for watching, really appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe, of course, and leave comments if you wanna know why I did something or have any suggestions for me or whatever you wanna know, whatever you wanna say, feel free. Thanks.